Play. Strike!
And we welcome you to Osceola County Stadium, the 2014 Nationwide Conference USA Hall of Fame Classic. It's Baugh Dorflinger against Resmondo here in this loser's bracket final with an opportunity, Coop, to take on Laser Vision.
Yeah, a little bit of a surprise, I think. Most of us had kind of expected Resmondo to handle the earlier game, and here they find themselves in the loser's bracket for the first time this year.
We're good. I still got you. Still got you.
We just saw an impressive performance by Laser Vision in the winner's bracket final. And so the challenge for these teams here is you got to win this one, but you got to win 2 more, so you're still 3 wins away from winning this first part of the Hall of Fame Classic, as we see Dennis really get off with a leadoff single.
And this weekend, after that, your reward is we start a new tournament tomorrow.
Yeah.
So this is a battle of attrition for all the teams that are here. 41 teams are in both of the tournaments in Major League size stadiums, so it's definitely a bit of an attrition battle.
Nope. Play.
Greg Cannell is the batter. Bernie Gunther, Don Cooper, and Kristen Bedard, glad you're with us. And that's a look at a rocket off the bat of Greg Cannell, the second baseman for Resmondo. A home run there, and Resmondo is on the board with a 2-0 lead.
Next half inning.
Yes, sir.
Andy Purcell, the Hall of Fame pitcher now.
Nope, just a little.
It's a new look to Conference USSSA this year. Coop, a remarkable 52 teams from 27 states.
Yeah, we're
Purcell lifts this one to left. Does it have enough carry? It does. A home run.
Well, what you're seeing is, in this Baugh 4 team is a perfect example of a group that was put together a couple of years ago as a C team that has now reached a high-level A team, and we've been told that they target being a major team next year. So this is what the conference has brought us, not only expansion, but it's brought the teams to aspire to play up, to aspire to be here. And we're looking at a team that's got a chance to be in the championship game that was a C team 2 years ago.
Billy B.J. Falk. It's to third, and it took a wicked hop, and not a whole lot that J.D. Jenner could do there.
And this is a unique team too. That Tommy Baugh, who is one of the dominant sponsors on the team, is also the pitcher. And it's not a case that he's here because he's a sponsor. He would be pitching for about any team in the country. So it's a unique situation that he's able to obviously bring a lot of things to the table. And this team shows you where they've come. It's dual sponsored with Tommy Baugh and Rick Dorflinger, who's out of Seattle, Washington, and Tommy Baugh out of Alabama.
Salas hits this one well, but back at the wall, hauling it in, is the left fielder Donovan Pokraka.
Time.
And that is the first out retired here in the first inning. Get a chance to see Resmondo. They have 11 bat in their lineup. This is their newest star, Lee Powers.
Lee came over from Shop, from the Louisville Slugger, to join the Resmondo team. His daddy is a USSSA Hall of Famer.
Line drive, base hit out to left field.
That's one of the impressive things about Resmondo. I think a lot of people just assume it's been the same thing and they've done this, but you look at it, they've basically got 3 outfielders that none were with the club a couple of years ago. They've added Lee Powers, Jimmy's son, to the lineup, and Salas came over just a couple of years ago. So although they've continued to be the dominant team, it's been a case that they've brought a lot of young players in and have turned the roster over and still been able to maintain, that #1 ranking in the world.
Bubba Mack, the right fielder. into the
Batter's
corner.
out.
It's caught. And in comes B.J. Falk to make it 4-0.
Run scored.
Great throw
Run scored.
to get Jimmy Salas at second base to end the inning.
Yes, sir. Run scored.
Here's another look. He knew he just missed it, Bubba Mack. And a phenomenal throw in. Falk comes in to score.
Huh? We're good.
And a quick throw out to second. And that'll retire the side. So we'll see Baugh Dorflinger come to the plate for the first time in the bottom of the first when we come back to Osceola County Stadium. But before we do that, let's check in now with a third member of our team. Kristen Bedard's with us today on ESPN. KB, what do you got?
Well, guys, for most of you who have followed the Nationwide Conference USSSA for the last 9 years, you know what an unexpected spot Resmondo is in playing from the losers bracket in this Hall of Fame Classic. They've won it 7 out of the 13 times, and as you remember last year in 2013, they did something that only one other team has done. They won both of the tournaments here at the Duel. It'll be a long uphill road to see if they can repeat.
Well, and you take a look at Coop as you see Andy Purcell, arguably one of the all-time greatest, if not the greatest pitcher in this game. And he's probably one of the biggest reasons why Resmondo's had sustained success over the last,
Hey, Rector,
half a decade, if you will, plus.
He is a GOAT. Greatest of all time. That's what it is. I mean, we've all moved beyond. Okay. There's no longer a debate. The only debate I think now that still holds is he the greatest softball player of all time, or is he just the greatest pitcher of all time? And I think many people now have moved him because of the way his offense has come into the game in the last 5 to 6 years, that Andy is no longer the greatest pitcher that ever played, but there's a legitimate argument that he's just the greatest softball player that's ever played.
Brian Zirkle will lead off action.
The scoreboard shows 3-0, but what it really was, it is 4-0. What we heard, you may have heard the umpire saying, run scores, run scores. What they deemed was that the runner had crossed home plate before Salas was out at second base, so they awarded them that run.
So 4-0 lead for Resmondo. Not necessarily, it's one of those middle of the road starts. You think 4-0 in baseball, you think this is a gigantic lead, but this is a contest where you can see runs and bunches. And when I talk about bunches, sometimes you're talking about double digits in an inning.
Yeah, but the stadium's basically what we're hoping for when you play here is to score every inning. And, it's not like the 300-foot parks, but 4 to 6 runs an inning, you are going to win way, way, way more than you lose here. What gets you in trouble here is the blanks. It's a couple of back-to-back zeros.
J.D. Jenner took a wicked hop over there at first. And how about Andy Purcell coming over to field his position? And he appears a little bit shaken up.
Every single person in the Resmondo dugout and on the field's heart's in their throat right now.
Lee Powers, a nice job of knocking it down. Here's another look.
Got one.
It's a great play by Andy.
And he's right back at it.
Right.
This is Chris Larson.
Strike.
Takes a called strike.
Right.
Chris is from beautiful Vancouver, Washington. We live about 125 miles apart, so we spend a lot of time at ballparks together. Real good young player that has kind of come on the circuit in the last 4 or 5 years and really put in his time and has turned into a heck of a hitter.
Base hit. And Zirkle comes in to score the first run of the ball game for Baugh Dorflinger. And this is Larson's part of this new crop, this new generation of great players that have come up. And year after year, it just seems like there's been so much more talent that's come into Conference USSSA.
Yeah, we're seeing kids come that they're in minor league camps on Thursday, and they're playing upper level softball right after that, and trying to learn the game. And then some of them are finding out the transition isn't quite as easy as they thought it was going to be. It's a little bit more of a difficult game than they thought it was going to be. But we have gained so many great young players in the last couple of seasons, and I think that's also why we're seeing the numbers grow of the total teams in the conference. And that's also why you see a team like Baugh Ford here, where we're seeing that anyone, it's not a cliche any longer, Bernie, anyone can win in these tournaments. It's not the same 2 or 3 teams. Everybody's going to come down and say, well, geez, Resmondo and Laser Vision are here. Well, let's see what happens in this next tournament.
Lifted to left, and this one's going to be off the 390 mark. Chris Larson's going to come in to score as Donovan Pokraka has an RBI double.
So I think what we're going to see is this whole season kind of goes forward is the parity is getting closer and closer and closer, and in the next season or two, I think we're even going to see that parity grow wider. And one of the big things is the gentleman we talked about earlier is Andy Purcell, who's now, I believe, 44 years old. What happens when he goes away and the pitching becomes where we've got 8 or 9 or 10 or 12 guys that are outstanding, that are all out there together, and you don't have that dominant guy?
And when you talk about Andy Purcell, what is it that makes him so much better than everybody else?
He has great knuckleball, but quite a few of the guys that have come with great knuckleballs. What you see is right there. He's by far the greatest offensive pitcher that's ever played the game. He could be a shortstop. He could be a third baseman. Quite often during the winter, when Andy plays and a lot of the charity games and pick up a winter ball stuff, he'll play shortstop or play middle infield because he won't want to pitch there. He is by far the best offensive pitcher that's ever played.
Second out of the inning, Kyle Pearson is at the plate.
And you're around the game a lot now, Bernie, in the last couple of years, and you realize he's standing 50 feet away.
Yeah.
And you've got missiles being hit at you.
This one into the corner, and a nice running grab there made to retire the side. Jeremy Yates comes over. We'll take a timeout here from Osceola County Stadium after 1 inning of play. Resmondo leading 4-2. USSSA is the world's premier sports organization with over 4 million participants. The top youth baseball stars compete at the Wilson DeMarini Elite World Series and the Louisville Slugger Championship, looking to qualify for the USSSA National Youth Championships. In fast pitch, the top teenagers are on the field with USA Select, and the best in the world are on the USSSA Florida Pride. Nationwide Conference USSSA provides the ultimate challenge in slow pitch softball. At every level, you play the best when you play USSSA.
In the nation, we reward safe driving. Add Vanishing Deductible from Nationwide Insurance and get $100 off every year of safe driving, which means you could save a lot of Benjamins. We put members first because we don't have shareholders. Join the nation.
Nationwide is on your side.
USSSA members, you could save money on your auto insurance. Call a local Nationwide agent or 1-866-633-5747.
Bernie Gunther, Don Cooper, Kristen Bedard, glad you're with us on ESPN for the Nationwide Conference USSSA. It's a 4-2 Resmondo lead as we bring you back for the second of what is normally 7 innings. There's a lot that can happen in these games where they tend to go quicker depending on how many runs get scored in bunches.
Yeah, we typically see more run rule games than we see extra inning games for sure. But again, these playing fields, this level, you definitely see far less run rules here than you will potentially see on a 300-foot stadium.
DiDonatis at the plate. Grounded at third. How about that play? Made for out number 1. J.D. Jenner.
He was actually a late season addition to Baugh Ford. He started the season, was going to be with the Scene, and some things changed over there. And one of the things are when you're an A team, you're allowed 5 major players. The new list came out, and the Scene ended up over the list, and J.D. Jenner kind of became disposable, and it was a great move for him.
There's a triple for Yates. We saw him make a great defensive play, and there he is showcasing his speed.
And Yates is one of the young players that the Resmondo campus found and brought up. I believe he was with TaylorMade a couple years ago, and a young man that was playing B and C ball, and now he's here, and any team in the country would love to have him.
Nick Santana bats at the 10 hole. Resmondo bats 11. Baugh Dorflinger does the same, and they're going to pick up their 5th run of the ball game on Santana's single. So much speed there in that outfield. It's incredible.
Yeah, they're young, athletic. And you notice that Resmondo brings a lot of lefties to the table, and the reason that being is where the major World Series is played is the Disney Wide World of Sports, and that park plays, it's lefty haven. It's the old Yankee Stadium. If you're a lefty, it plays 80 feet shorter than if you're a righty. So one of the things the Resmondo group has done is always tried to be lefty heavy.
At right, Jeremy Eisenhower. We've seen him make a number of web gems, if you will, this weekend with a single. Santana moves to 3rd. And we're back to the top of Resmondo's lineup.
For the timeless one, Dennis Ruley, 46 years young. 5 years ago, we all said he was done, and 4 years ago, we said he was all done. And I'm sure at some point in time this year, we'll say he's all done. And at the end of the year, he'll be close to leading the conference in hitting, and definitely on base. And he'll probably be back next year in his 47th year, doing the same thing all over again.
Ruley's at the plate. He's been really a journeyman in his career. Dennis Ruley, just 5'6", 190 pounds, out of Moore Park, California. How about that for a little grab on the infield to get the second out of that? That's one of the things. Just seen fabulous defense the first 2 days of this tournament.
Yeah, Kyle Pearson, who made the play there, is another one of the great young players of the game that just has come up, and that's just an outstanding play, understanding where you're at. And Dennis is probably standing at first base going, well, he's not supposed to be in that hole. I was rolling it right through there.
Greg Cannell down the left field line. It's a fair ball. And Ruley tracks over to 3rd.
And this is an interesting, really interesting inning right now. That's a ball that JD needs to make a play on.
You would have retired the side.
Retired the side, you get off. So this is where Resmondo's traditionally really made you pay for this right now. You should be going to hit in a real good spot. Instead, Andy hits a 3-run home run right here, and you have to be real careful the ball doesn't hang their head from that. But this is where the veteran like Andy normally will make you pay.
Purcell takes the first pitch inside. Essentially, the count in slow pitch starts with a 1-2 count.
A 1-2 count, and the other side is you only get one foul ball, meaning that if you foul a ball off and then foul a ball off, you're out.
Yep. Purcell draws a walk, and that'll load the bases, and now B.J. Falk has a chance to cash in a big way. He singled and scored in his first plate appearance back in the first.
You would normally think BJ's trying to bury this ball, but the way this park plays, he may look to go to the gap in left center field. They're leaving it for him a little bit, and he may pick that spot to haul the inside out there and run at it.
Strike.
Strike called. And that makes it a full count at 2-1, essentially. And right. And they say he caught it. Jeff Payton. Wait a minute. The initial call was out number 3.
One of you guys got to get it right. All weekend you've been getting it wrong. Get it right. Look at the replay. Look at the replay. Oh, Shorthawk, watch the replay.
Timeout on the field. 6-2, Resmondo in the lead.
What's hot out the rapper mean? Let's find out.
Can't go no further.
Any questions?
Louisville Slugger is proud to introduce the first ever three-piece bat to slow pitch softball. Slugger's patented True 3 joins the handle and barrel together with a socket pivot point to deliver a true feel on every hit. A strong link between the handle and barrel means maximum sting elimination from mishits, while still giving you the feel of solid contact. Exclusive technology, lighter swing weight, powerful performance. That's how the Z3000 will leave its mark on the game. How will you leave yours?
Back here at Osceola County Stadium, let's check in with a third member of our team, Krista Bedard.
Well, Bernie, Resmondo is known for being one of the loose, most open teams in the nationwide conference USSSA, but after spending a half inning in their dugout, it is definitely different emotions down there. They're beating each other up about the play, the lack of contact with the ball for the offense, and a couple of those calls are making these guys hungry to try and get out there and redeem themselves.
Well, the good news right now, Coop, is they lead at 6-2. If you're a Resmondo fan, you know, part of what we saw a moment ago that happens through the course of time, you're going to get calls one way or another. We don't have instant replay like they have in Major League Baseball, where they're looking at it back at a studio to try to overturn it.
Yeah, and there's a couple things to remember. This is also preseason in a way, early season for the umpires. And we have a lot of new umpires that have got called up that are working here, some umpires that have actually come over from different associations. So we can't ask them to be perfect until we're perfect. But you know, I think we would all agree that probably wasn't a catch in right field.
Yep.
And the other interesting thing about that is Jeff Payton, who was out there, is not an outfielder by trade. He's actually a shortstop middle infielder. But in this tournament, with the large parks and as many games, what you will find is you are going to have some guys play out of position here just based on that.
Blankenship is at second with a double. This is a single by Jeff Flood that'll score a run.
And you can see Brad Blankenship kind of hobbling across the field. He would probably be in right field. But obviously this weekend's taken a toll, and you know, most of us have 6, 7, 8, 9 more games to go.
Take another look at that catch out and right, or no catch, if you will, depending on your point of view.
And if you notice, Jeff was going great play by Connie at second base. Jeff was backpedaling a little bit on a ball that he should have been coming forward with. But again, that's a shortstop middle infielder that's trying to be serviceable early in the season in a tournament like this.
One away. So move now back to the top of the lineup.
This is Tommy Baugh, I think.
Excuse me, Tommy Baugh at the bottom of the lineup. And Baugh is going to reel and get into second, sliding with a double.
That says a lot about a club right there, too. I think Tommy's probably a great guy to play with when your sponsor takes the mound and you see him hustle out of the box. We played them yesterday. He pitched and played a great game against us. He's really kind of an interesting guy to me. I haven't gotten to know Tommy very well yet, but I have a lot of respect for him for not only how he plays the game, but how he's ran this team.
Brian Zirkle at the top. The only play is first, and the middle infielder, Dennis Rulli, makes the play. That's probably the biggest difference between this game and baseball, is the fact that you get that extra player out there. And what a difference can you see in this game? A lot of times you see a middle infielder, but that's not necessarily the only place you can see the extra player play defensively.
If you look at when softball first started, and even now traditionally at the lower leagues, you will see 4 outfielders, 4 infielders. And as the game evolved and the middle of the field became so wide and so open and the hitting became so good, we went to most of the teams started bringing one of their outfielders in, and that's why we actually scored the middle infielder as 10. But you'll see a stack like we've got here with a strong leadoff with J.D. Jenner, who you guys know, and he's a traditional pull hitter.
He pops it out to right, and the play is made to retire the side.
And the reason one of the reasons you play, and one of the reasons we play it that way is you're trying to get JD to go the other way. You stack the left side and say, hey, if you're comfortable with trying to go against your strength, go for it. But we're going to take your strength away.
And they did so there. We head, it's 6-3 as we head to the third. USSSA is the world's premier sports organization with over 4 million participants. The top youth baseball stars compete at the Wilson DeMarini Elite World Series and the Louisville Slugger Championship, looking to qualify for the USSSA National Youth Championships. In fast pitch, the top teenagers are on the field with USA Select, and the best in the world are on the USSSA Florida Pride. Nationwide Conference USSSA provides the ultimate challenge in slow pitch softball. At every level, you play the best when you play USSSA.
Louisville Slugger is proud to introduce the first ever three-piece bat to slow pitch softball. Slugger's patented True 3 joins the handle and barrel together with a socket pivot point to deliver a true feel on every hit. A strong link between the handle and barrel means maximum sting elimination from mishits, while still giving you the feel of solid contact. Exclusive technology, lighter swing weight, powerful performance. That's how the Z3000 will leave its mark on the game. How will you leave yours?
It's a 6-3 lead for Resmondo as we welcome you back for the third inning.
Here we go.
The winner of this one will play laser vision, and they'll need to win 2 to win the first part of the duel here. The Hall of Fame Classic will have all 3 games for you tonight if necessary. This one, the next game was scheduled to start at 5 o'clock, but obviously it needed to be a little bit of a consolidated game to get us back on schedule, and the final game scheduled at 7 p.m. tonight as Jimmy Salas will start off here in the third inning.
No, over him. 2-0.
Salas 0 for 1 in the ball game. It's Salas, Lee Powers, and Bubba Mack.
Yes, sir. Play. Strike. Full count.
Full count. Salas lifts this one towards center field. It's a long run, and not a whole lot Brian Zirkle can do. Salas is going to just basically walk into second with a leadoff double.
Yeah, Brian Zirkle, one of the fastest center fielders in the game. If he's not going to get to it, it's probably not being gotten to by anyone. As you can see, 410 feet to the wall there. He hit that about 390. We would call that bad course management because 390 the other way is a home run.
Yeah, yeah.
Play.
Here's Lee Powers. Baugh knocked it down. Can he recover in time? The throw got there.
Time.
Outstanding
#1.
play. Outstanding play. So you want to be a slow pitch pitcher, do you, Bernie?
I don't. I know I'd have to probably definitely wear that helmet. And imagine if it comes at you in a line drive variety as opposed to a ground ball.
Yeah.
Play.
We tell people the fastest way to an upper level team is to be a pitcher. The fastest way out of the upper level team is being a pitcher.
Mack to left. Is this one going to get up? It does. Just enough.
Bubba won the charity home run challenge on Wednesday night. Beat Brian Littman of Team Combat, 2 of the young stars. Put on quite a show Wednesday night, Bernie.
Yeah.
Come on, dude. Come on, dude. Positive news. Let's go. Come on, baby.
Play. Nope. Strike.
DiDonatis at the plate.
Nope.
And this is even an evolution of Resmondo. For many of their world championships, Donnie was the leadoff hitter on that club. And as the games have gone and Donnie's gotten a little bit older, they've moved him a little bit further down in the lineup. He still does a phenomenal job. He could hit leadoff for sure, but one of the things is with the lineup shakeover. And I think it says a lot about Resmondo that no matter what you ask them to do, you know, we play against them a lot. You see that they've got Howie Krause on the bench right now, a Hall of Famer, one of the best hitters that have ever played. You can hear him. He's the loudest guy in the dugout. If you're hearing it, the pickup from the dugout, they're cheering for his guys, and they're definitely all about team.
Here's
Nice
Yates.
play. Strike.
Strike called.
Ones.
They throw across the diamond, and they get the speedy Yates to retire the side. A 2-run home run extends Resmondo's lead. 8-3 is our score here at Osceola County Stadium as we head to the bottom of the third.
In the nation, we reward safe driving. Add vanishing deductible from Nationwide Insurance and get $100 off every year of safe driving, which means you could save a lot of Benjamins. We put members first because we don't have shareholders. Join the nation.
Nationwide is on your side.
USSSA members, you could save money on your auto insurance. Call a local Nationwide agent or 1-866-633-5747.
What's hot out of the wrapper mean? Let's find out.
Can't go no further.
Any questions?
You talk about the life of being a slow pitch softball player. This team started this trek early this morning. They've already taken down Ole Livingston. They took down Bachmanshop. And here they are trying to advance back to the winner's bracket. And these are two teams that played one another just last night in the stadium, and it was an 18-12 Resmondo win.
And it looks like we're on about the same pace right now of the score. I think what we need right now is obviously Resmondo is expecting to win this tournament. What Dorflinger needs to do a little bit right now is put some pressure on them, get a little doubt going. They're going to have to go. If I don't see them stealing this game late, they're going to have to get the pressure on in the next inning or so and see if we can get Resmondo to chase them a little bit.
Chris Larson takes a called strike. Larson record in Pokraka. Base hit to left.
Top.
Here's a leadoff single. The second single of the ball game for Larson.
Brad Record is what we would call a super utility player. He's playing shortstop here. He's been on some outstanding teams as a left fielder. Brad played for me for a couple of years in the past, and there's really not a defensive position he can't play at this level.
Play.
It's a very, very, very valuable type player to have around.
What do you look for when you're trying to field a team and put together a team? Because I know a lot of players out there that are playing at the lower levels love to get an opportunity to play at Nationwide Conference USSSA.
Yeah, I think anymore because of the limited home run rules that we play, it's turned into what we're looking for is more complete players, the Brad Record type players, where you bring a lot of different things to the table.
How about that?
Outstanding play right there.
A double play.
The old days, Bernie, when I first came into the game, it was who could hit the most home runs.
Now it's who plays the best defense, especially on the infield, and it starts with Ruley. Great flip, and then the turn by Cannell.
And you look at Connie making that play there. That's the home run leader the last couple of years in the conference USSSA. But obviously, you can still play defense. The days of guys that just stand in the box and whack it are gone.
Donovan Pokraka now. Lifts this one back deep and gone.
And it's interesting because with the advent of YouTube and Facebook and whatnot, I get a lot of videos of guys sending me, hey, look at me hitting, look at my video of me hitting, can I get a chance with one of your teams? And it's funny, it's gotten to be now where I send them back, send me some videos of you fielding.
Yeah.
And I've had a couple guys say, really? I said, yeah, really. You know what? There's great ball and bat technology and great workout programs now, but we need to see you field a little bit.
McDonald, a gapper. McDonald on his way to third.
Sean McDonald, affectionately known as Milky, out of Detroit, Michigan.
6'4", 230 pounds.
He's been doing it a long time. He won a couple of A World titles with some very good teams.
And that's probably been one of the biggest evolutions here in slow pitch, is so many teams continuing to want to move up now, as opposed to, it seemed like the old time, a lot of times they wanted to move down.
Yeah, I think the conference is doing that, and there's still a lot of work to be done. And you know, you were in the meetings that we had on Wednesday night here, and it's ever evolving. It was the largest group of sponsors and coaches we've ever been able to get into one room, and it was great to have an open chant and forum and some things that were voted on to help the program, and things that were hoped to help you guys here at ESPN on television, hopefully. But it's definitely a work in progress, considering when we started this, 2005, I believe, is the first duel, and we had 16 teams, and this year we have 41.
Yep. Basically all the putouts started by Ruley here in the fourth, but the solo home run by Pokraka adds to Baugh 4's lead. It's 8-4 as we head to the fourth.
What's hot out of the rapper mean? Let's find out. Any questions?
USSSA is the world's premier sports organization with over 4 million participants. The top youth baseball stars compete at the Wilson DeMarini Elite World Series and the Louisville Slugger Championship, looking to qualify for the USSSA National Youth Championships. In fast pitch, the top teenagers are on the field with USA Select, and the best in the world are on the USSSA Florida Pride. Nationwide Conference USSSA provides the ultimate challenge in slow pitch softball. At every level, you play the best when you play USSSA. It's an 8-4 Resmondo lead. Let's check in with Kristen Bedard, who's with the head coach of Resmondo, John Rector.
Well, John, we saw Andy Purcell struggle to get up a little bit in the first inning. Does Andy's health concern you at all as the season starts?
Well, Andy's health always concerned. All my guys' health concern me, but he's fine. He's twisted his knee a little bit. He'll be fine. He's a warrior. It's going to take a lot more than that to get him out.
Now, you guys are facing yourself in the loser's bracket, a place you don't normally find Resmondo. How does this motivate your team?
Well, I mean, you know, it's tough out here. These teams are good, and they're going to beat you sometimes, but we're going to beat them sometimes. And our guys are mentally tough. They understand what they have to do, and I'm confident they'll get it done.
All right. Thank you so much, Coach. Back to you, Bernie.
Resmondo leading by 4 as we begin the fourth inning. Santana will start off action. Santana, Eisenhower, and Ruley.
Over him.
And what I know coming especially from the Northwest has been a warm weekend. It's the warmest it's been in Florida since I've been here. It's like they just turned up the thermostat yesterday where it was 89 degrees and another 90-degree day here. As you see the speed of Santana, it takes a great defensive grab to get him, especially as quick as he races down the line.
It does, and I think it was a great article on ESPN Science this week about head first sliding into it, and you know, the Angels lost Josh Hamilton, and we may want to show that to Nick, as they clearly showed running through the bag was faster, and obviously a lot less likelihood of a broken finger or torn thumb as we saw with Josh Hamilton.
Maybe not as good on the replay for us to look at it, though. But I guess as long as the players are healthy, it's better for us, too.
Yeah, it was a great article. The ESPN sports packages of sports science packages. There's been some very interesting things that I think I'm kind of curious how often they realize the players watch that and look at that and listen to it.
There's another look.
And you can see that you're exposing your face, your fingers, your hands. It's there's nothing really fun about that right there.
Top of the lineup. Eisenhower's aboard with one away.
Yeah, you're right about the heat, and like I said, it's a battle of attrition now. You're you have teams from all over the country, and even those teams have players from all over the country, and many of those players are coming out of snow still.
Eisenhower holds it third. Ruley is into second with a double. And those are some of the defensive plays that make or break the team. Not saying that that was one that all day long you need to grab at third, but it's a play that possibly can be made.
Yeah, it's with this game being so offensive driven anymore, when you get an opportunity to make a play, you almost have to make it because you don't know when you're going to get an opportunity to make it again. That's definitely a tough play and a play that's probably not made, but there's been a couple of earlier plays that we've seen that has cost Baugh a couple of runs.
Greg Cannell to center. Question is, does it have the carry? That was my initial thought, but man, easily gets over the fence. The second that one came off the bat, I wasn't quite so sure.
No, it's a wrong part of the yard. It's a oppo home run, and that shows you why Greg Cannell leads the country in home runs.
Take a look at the power that he must have. Upper body strength.
Yeah,
the hips.
There's very few guys that are going backside 425 feet.
Here's another look.
Almost got that new great big beautiful shiny scoreboard you got put in out there.
Yeah, it's a beautiful facility here, the home of the Houston Astros in spring training. And that's one of the big stories, is whether it is great ballparks like this, it all ends up at the Men's Major World Series at ESPN's Wide World of Sports. And then you take a look at some of the historic tournaments, the Smoky Mountain Classic. There's just some great stops during the summer, and I know that despite the fact that Andy Purcell, I'm sure, is upset with himself for flying out there, he's so happy that it's an opportunity once again to play slow pitch.
Yeah, and it is. It's definitely there. We play a couple of different games almost in the conference. You know, many of us started a couple weeks ago in the new big league Dream Parks in Las Vegas that play very small. You have a turf infield. You play with a different ball. The home run limits become very important, and you move here, and even though we do play under home run limits in these parks, you won't hear the coaches talking about it. It's free swinging. These teams get 12 home runs in this game. When Laser Vision and Resmondo or Shop or Combat plays major teams, they get 16 home runs. The home run count just doesn't come into effect in the stadiums.
BJ Falk headed to second. He has a double. And the difference for those of you that are not familiar with slow pitch softball is if you get that 13th home run and you only are allowed 12, it counts as an out.
Correct. It's a dead ball out. Nobody advances. And it's been one of the evolutions that I think has allowed teams to move up. It's allowed a leveling of the playing field. When I first broke in, it was open home runs, and the Steels and the Riches, they were going to win. They were going to out-homer you, and now defense and speed and pitching and everything factors in.
Fly out to left. That'll retire the side. 3 more tracked in by Resmondo here in the 4th. An opposite field home run by Greg Cannell. It's 11-4 our score as we head to the bottom of the 4th.
Louisville Slugger is proud to introduce the first ever 3-piece bat to slow pitch softball. Slugger's patented True 3 joins the handle and barrel together with a socket pivot point to deliver a true feel on every hit. A strong link between the handle and barrel means maximum sting elimination from mishits, while still giving you the feel of solid contact. Exclusive technology, lighter swing weight, powerful performance. That's how the Z3000 will leave its mark on the game. How will you leave yours?
11-4 our scores. We head to the bottom of the 4th. Let's check in once again with Kristen Bedard.
I'm here with Bob Dorflinger's Vince Bisbee catcher. Now, Vince, you were hurt in an earlier game. What's your timeline for return?
I think about a month. Probably I'm going to miss Columbus in 2 weeks, and I'm hoping to be back in about a month.
Now, you were with Dorflinger last year. You got to see the merge between Baugh 4 and GTL. What's been some of the biggest changes you've noticed with this roster?
Well, I see we got some veteran guys that know the game. We got a lot of young players that are hungry and new to the conference, and they want to win. And it's the collective mix of the young and the veterans have been a real good mix for us.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Back to you, Brandon Coop.
And that is what makes things so special. I think that when you take a look at Baugh Ford or even a team like Resmondo, it's the youth that has really kept this veteran team right at the top.
Yeah.
And the same thing with what you see with a lot of these A and major teams, you got to find that balance. You got to have the young guns, especially on a weekend like this one, to run around, but it takes the veterans to try to win the championship as well.
Absolutely. And Vince Bisbee, it's a shame to see him get hurt. He's one of the all-time greats. He spent many years on this Resmondo roster. Vince actually won what the conference has is called the John Glidewell Award last year. John's a young man that left all of us too soon. I had the pleasure of spending a couple of seasons with him, and it was probably one of the nicest guys that ever played. And so annually they award what they call the John Glidewell Award for sportsmanship and character on the field, and Vince was the winner of that last year.
Is a ground out for out number 1. We saw Jeff Flood start the inning off with a solo shot.
And Jeff's one of those young guns you talked about. He was on a BC team a couple of years ago, a season ago, out of SoCal. And here he is, and he's a young man with a bright future, a real nice young man. A perfect example of a kid that's also got a glove. He can pick it, he can play short, middle, second, and as you can see, he just hit it up out of a stadium.
Base hit to center for Brian Zirkle.
That's Tommy Baugh.
Excuse me, Tommy Baugh.
Tommy Baugh. Zirkle's a lefty. You almost had me for a second. I could hold it. When did Brian Zirkle start hitting right-handed on me?
Try to keep you honest. So, excuse me, Payton is the one that grounded out. There's a single for Baugh. He's aboard for the second time. And now we see Zirkle out to left. And the speedy outfield takes care of the leadoff hitter for Baugh Ford as Yates comes over to make the play.
They need to go right here. I mean, I would think JD's probably sitting dead red, trying to get him 2 runs right here. They're running out of outs, running out of innings. And I have a hard time believing JD's sitting on anything but dead red.
Yeah, we're just in the bottom of the 4th of a 7-inning game, and there's going to be a ground out, and that should retire the side, and it does. Cannell able to hold on to it. Inning over. A solo shot by Jeff Flood, the only scoring for Bob Dorflinger. We move on. It's still 11-5, Resmondo in the lead.
In the nation, we reward safe driving. Add vanishing deductible from Nationwide Insurance and get $100 off every year of safe driving, which means you could save a lot of Benjamins. We put members first because we don't have shareholders. Join the nation.
Nationwide is on your side.
USSSA members, you could save money on your auto insurance. Call a local Nationwide agent or 1-866-633-5747.
What's hot out of the wrapper mean? Let's find out.
Can't go no further.
Any questions?
11-5, Resmondo in the lead. They look to try to tack on to their 6-run advantages. They look to try to get a rematch with the Leafs. That's one of the unique things about Nationwide Conference USSSA is the amount of opportunities to play the same team in one week. And a lot of times in sports, you may need to wait a whole nother year to get a chance to take on that opponent. But here in slow pitch softball, sometimes the redemption comes a couple hours later.
Yeah, and that's definitely what they'll be looking for here. And what Laser Vision's sitting over here in the shades hoping is that these guys play 7 innings or maybe 8 or 9 or 10, and they stand out in the heat and just battle it out, and they get to roll back in there a little bit fresher.
Lee Powers smokes this one to left, and how about that? Look what I found in my glove.
I danced all the way out there. If you've ever played left field at this level, the knuckleballs that come out there, Donovan thought he had that ball about 4 times, and at the end he wasn't sure he had it at all. It's good to see Donovan back out there. He actually spent a lot of time catching last year because of some injuries. It's good to see him back and healthy and back out in left field.
Fifth inning here from Osceola County Stadium, 11-5 score. And Resmondo's done exactly what you said is one of the keys here in the big ballpark is scoring every inning. They scored 4 in the first, 2 in the second, 2 in the third, and 3 in the fourth.
And what we always hear is our coach, Jeff Wall, sits there and yells at us all day, just give me a crooked number every time. You know, he doesn't care if it's 2 or 3, 2 or 3, 2, 3 or 4. You're going to have a chance to win these games.
Well, there's at least one. That one found its way all the way out to field number 1.
Yeah, Bubba's been swinging it like we talked about since Wednesday night in the home run derby. He's definitely been locked.
Come on, Junior.
That's a no pitch. You never mind those, Bernie, when you make an out on a no pitch.
Yeah.
When you single up the middle like that on a no pitch, you
want another opportunity,
yeah,
right?
you say, no, that wasn't. That was a good. That was good. Time was in. I didn't mean to call time. And the softball gods worked it out for him with a walk anyway.
It all works out every once in a while, right? One out, one in. 12-5 score. It's a called strike. Base hit. DiDonatis, that's the hustle you see from him.
Yeah, and what you saw there is Mr. Flood tried to cheat on the pitch, and you saw him kind of jump the hole. And what Yates did is actually probably saw him, believe it or not, break on that pitch, and he hit it right where he started, knowing there's no way he could still be there after the swing was finished. You watch him, you can see him get caught flat-footed there. He was jumping that hole, and Yates pulled it right into the abandoned hole.
Santana now batting in the 10 hole. Santana out of Longwood, Florida, not too far away. Floats it out to left. It's going to score DiDonatis. $13-5. And that's one of the differences rule-wise in Nationwide Conference USSSA is in baseball you would call that a sacrifice fly, but the only thing that counts during conference play outside of the Men's Major World Series is your on-base percentage.
Correct.
So as far as on-base is concerned, Santana helps his team, but he didn't help his average.
Right, he'll pick up an RBI there and take a knock on his average. That's absolutely right. So it's reached on a hit, reached on a walk, or reached on an error. Nothing else counts.
Just one of the things that's a little bit different.
And you'll see it still listed. As I've had people ask me about why we do it. And if you look at a Major League box score or the cyber scores, you will see on-base percentage. And many times you'll see, they'll talk about slugging percentage, which is average, your average and on-base combined. And there's a lot of different numbers. But I think it's a fair way to do it. It levels it out. It really kind of also leads you to take walks and be a team player.
Dennis Ruley at the top of Resmondo's lineup. Nice stop. They throw it over to third, and the tag is applied to retire the side.
Great play. Great heads-up play all the way around. It was the only out he had was going to be at third base.
Defense is the name of the game. Let's take a look at this brilliant play to retire the side. It's 14-5, Resmondo on top as we head to the bottom of the fifth. USSSA is the world's premier sports organization with over 4 million participants. The top youth baseball stars compete at the Wilson DeMarini Elite World Series and the Louisville Slugger Championship, looking to qualify for the USSSA National Youth Championships. In fast pitch, the top teenagers are on the field with USA Select, and the best in the world are on the USSSA Florida Pride. Nationwide Conference USSSA provides the ultimate challenge in slow pitch softball. At every level, you play the best when you play USSSA.
Louisville Slugger is proud to introduce the first ever 3-piece bat to slow pitch softball. Slugger's patented True 3 joins the handle and barrel together with a socket pivot point to deliver a true feel on every hit. A strong link between the handle and barrel means maximum sting elimination from mishits, while still giving you the feel of solid contact. Exclusive technology, lighter swing weight, powerful performance. That's how the Z3000 will leave its mark on the game. How will you leave yours?
In the nation, we reward safe driving. Add vanishing deductible from Nationwide Insurance and get $100 off every year of safe driving, which means you could save a lot of Benjamins. We put members first because we don't have shareholders. Join the nation.
Nationwide is on your side.
USSSA members, you could save money on your auto insurance. Call a local Nationwide agent or 1-866-633-5747.
Bernie Gunther, Don Cooper, Kristen Bedard, glad you're with us on ESPN 3. Baugh certainly not out of it. The score 14-5. Chris Larson leading off the inning here in the fifth with a sky-high pop fly, and that one carries out of the ballpark.
It's quite a pop fly, about a 435-foot pop fly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they got to go right now. It's go or get tucked away. And the one thing that Andy's been able to limit him to is a few of their runs have come on solo home runs. He's kept everybody else off the bases. There hasn't been a free pass, and he's done what Andy does.
Brad Record at the plate. He grounded into a double play in his last plate appearance. The winner of this one will take on Laser Vision, and will have to beat him twice. That's on the line. They'll say fair ball. You could see the chalk dance up as it hit it down that left field line, and that'll be a double. Perfect start in the fifth here for Baugh Dorflinger.
Right on the line.
Donovan Pokraka now. Base hit. Record comes in to score. And I'll make it 14-7.
Four or five more. You know, is I think what Baugh needs to kind of keep everything in line here and give themselves a chance to steal this.
Well, the good news is in slow pitch, the term is they call it the hammer.
Yep.
But they had the final at bat, and they're the home team in the contest, which in this game makes a big difference.
Huge difference.
Pokraka homered his last time up. This time he's going to hit it about 329, and he needed to get a 331. Didn't miss it by much.
Yeah, Milk missed it, though. It was definitely... The interesting thing about that is Sean obviously has home run power, but his game's really gap to gap, and I think he got sucked into it a little bit right there, trying to get two back on one swing instead of playing his game.
McDonald. Kyle Pearson.
Oh!
How about that catch by Salas?
It's a great play by Jimmy. What it does do is it keeps Kyle Pearson off a second, keeps the double play in order. A great play there by Jimmy Salas, as we see on the replay. puts it in his pocket as he has no chance at an out, but double plays in order.
And to center, how about that? Not only the catch, but the flip to throw it back.
Poor Brad Blankenship's walking back going, I just did everything right there, and somehow I'm out. And that's why Nick Santana diving into first base doesn't do them any good. He's so valuable in center field, and that's where they need him diving, not at first base.
Two outs, three in. Ruley back, and it's out of his glove. Quick throw home.
Nobody at third.
Nobody covering third. And an extra opportunity for Baugh Ford now.
Julie, you guys got anything? Hey, come here.
This should have been the final out of the inning as you take another look.
Great job, dude.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough play. It's a play Dennis has made many, many, many times. I don't think we'd call it routine, though. He went a long ways and kind of threw a ball out there in no man's land. But I'm sure if you ask Dennis, he'd tell you that's a play he has to make.
Pearson comes in. It's a 5-run game. And Baugh Ford inching closer to that number that you mentioned to make things interesting.
Yeah, they're there now. I mean,
and Salas is caught going the wrong way.
Yeah, cheating on the swing, cheating on the pitch. And sometimes you look like a genius when that happens, and sometimes you look like Jimmy did right there.
Flood comes in to score. The 5th run of the inning, and it's 14-10 now.
And the other thing this does is it's going to turn the lineup over. Yeah, we've.
There you go. He's been perfect tonight.
Yeah, it's like I say, it's they've got a pretty good deal going over in Baugh right now. We've got a sponsor who can pitch and hit. It may be the first time ever. Normally, many teams you'll see across the country, especially at some of the lower levels, the sponsor's playing because he's the sponsor.
And he wants to be involved.
This is a case where you've got a heck of a sponsor who's one heck of a player.
And oddly, today he's batting at the very bottom of the lineup, but he's produced well, a single, a double, and a single.
Yeah.
We're back to circle. And Santana is going to make all the brilliant stops in the inning. He ends the bleeding, but 6 come in. The most productive inning of the ball game for Baugh Dorflinger, and they're within 3 as we head to the 6th Nationwide Conference USSSA Hall of Fame Classic on ESPN.
Louisville Slugger is proud to introduce the first ever 3-piece bat to slow pitch softball. Slugger's patented True 3 joins the handle and barrel together with a socket pivot point to deliver a true feel on every hit. A strong link between the handle and barrel means maximum sting elimination from mishits, while still giving you the feel of solid contact. Exclusive technology, lighter swing weight, powerful performance. That's how the Z3000 will leave its mark on the game. How will you leave yours?
6th inning, 14-11, Resmondo in the lead. We are in the losers bracket final. The first of 3 games we have tonight on ESPN. And let's check in once again with a third member of our team, Kristen Bedard.
Hey, Bernie. Well, after that nice offensive show from Baugh Dorflinger, I had a chance to talk to some of the guys in the dugout, and they know and respect that Resmondo is known as one of the greatest teams in the Nationwide Conference. But with the expansion, these younger players coming out, and the veteran players who are sprinkled all across the conference, these younger teams are no longer afraid of teams like Resmondo, and they're ready to push them and to try and dethrone them as some of the greatest teams.
Well, that's probably one of the biggest changes in this sport over the last couple of years is when this sport, you talk about 10, 15, 20 years ago, the Resmondos, if you will, of the world, I don't think anybody expected to come into that ballpark and beat them on that weekend.
And that's one of the things the home run rule's done and the conference has done is we used to talk about the name on the back of the jersey used to be as important as the name on the front. And you'd go in and you'd see a Steels or a Riches Superior, you know, the original Belcorp teams and the old Smith teams. And that was definitely the case. You know, you say, oh, there's Bumgardner, there's Hall, there's Masinko, you know, there's Jimmy Powers and Top Powers. And there was a huge intimidation factor. And I think one of the other things that used to happen back then that the conference has changed so much, Bernie, is as an A-B team, you maybe played those teams once or twice a year. Now, like you talked about earlier, you had a chance to see these teams twice in the same weekend. So with the conference and all the teams traveling together and playing for points and the home run rules, now you have an opportunity to play the top teams 5, 6, 7, 10, 12 times a season, and all of a sudden you realize, hey, we can play with them, we can beat them. I think it's the sole biggest change in the game has been the familiarity with each other.
Andy Purcell at the plate. He had a home run back in the first. Andy got under that one. Lifted out to left, and 2 flyouts to start the 6th, and that's exactly what Baugh Dorflinger drew up.
Yeah, this is going the way they wanted to go to steal a game here. This is a game that that Resmondo kind of laid around in a little bit. They did score, but they never had that big inning, and they kind of laid around a little bit, and they're going to find themselves in a shootout here real quick if they're not careful. The one big answer is Billy Joel Folk standing in the box can get him a point here real quick.
There is a 2-out single for B.J. Falk.
And there's one of those plays you talked about, Bernie. Is that routine? No.
Yep.
Is that a play that Milky McDonald's made before? Yep. In a game like this where you're trying to come back and steal a game, that's really a play you need right there. Nothing routine about it, but sometimes to beat the #1 team in the country, you have to do some things that aren't routine.
Salas is the batter. And a scoop. They got him.
Outstanding play again started by Tommy Baugh.
Amazing defense here in the first of our 3 showcases. Salas is retired. Resmondo is blanked. Pretty good defense on showcase here today on ESPN.
In the nation, we reward safe driving. Add Vanishing Deductible from Nationwide Insurance and get $100 off every year of safe driving, which means you could save a lot of Benjamins. We put members first because we don't have shareholders. Join the nation.
Nationwide is on your side.
USSSA members, you could save money on your auto insurance. Call a local Nationwide agent or 1-866-633-5747.
What's hot out of the wrapper mean? Let's find out. Any questions?
Well, no questions here. We got great ball games all day long. And Nationwide Conference, USSSA, Bernie Gunther, Don Cooper. Glad you're with us. First of 3 we'll have for you on ESPN. And the opportunity has started to evolve for Baugh Dorflinger. A big deficit before the 5th. They tacked on 6. They blank Resmondo, and they find themselves trailing by just 3 here in the bottom of the 6th, and an opportunity to put Resmondo down to their final 3 outs.
Yeah, I mean, they have one goal right here. They don't care if they're up by 1 is to send Resmondo in where they've got a hit with pressure on them. anything they can do here to get those 3, but the 4. And you may have been able to pick up Vince Bisbee in the background, their injured leader over there yelling, "Just make them hit, just make them hit." And what he was trying to tell his young teammates is, make them have pressure swings. Don't let them hit again with the lead.
J.D. Genter into left, and Yates has got to track down for the first out.
And this is where you see a couple of the young swings there. These are pressure swings for these kids right now as well. They're a little bit tight. They're trying to push over the top, and that's what Vince was trying to tell them to do to Resmondo is don't let Resmondo go in here and freewheel. If they go in with this lead, all the pressure still sits on Baugh, and they'll freewheel, and I got a feeling they'll put up 3 or 4 runs. It's amazing what'll happen when you're down to your last 3 outs, how those at-bats can change.
And look at this, a big missed opportunity for Baugh Dorflinger. A 1, 2, 3, 6th inning. Neither team able to score in the 6th. It's 14-11 our score as we head to the final inning of the Nationwide Conference USSSA Hall of Fame Classic.
Louisville Slugger is proud to introduce the first ever 3-piece bat to slow pitch softball. Slugger's patented True 3 joins the handle and barrel together with a socket pivot point to deliver a true feel on every hit. A strong link between the handle and barrel means maximum sting elimination from mishits, while still giving you the feel of solid contact. Exclusive technology, lighter swing weight, powerful performance. That's how the Z3000 will leave its mark on the game. How will you leave yours?
In the nation, we reward safe driving. Add Vanishing Deductible from Nationwide Insurance and get $100 off every year of safe driving, which means you could save a lot of Benjamins. We put members first because we don't have shareholders. Join the nation.
Nationwide is on your side.
USSSA members, you could save money on your auto insurance. Call a local Nationwide agent or 1-866-633-5747.
And it all comes down to the 7th inning. Who will face Laser Vision in our next contest? Will it be Resmondo or Baugh Dorflinger? We're about to find out, probably in about 15-20 minutes.
Yeah. And no matter what happens, win, lose, or draw here, this is a learning experience for the Baugh 4 team. Similar, Bernie, to what we went through this morning with my team, is that we came into the bottom of the 7th against the shop team needing 2 to win.
Yep.
And we had 3 of our young players that were up in a row, and we didn't get it done. But it was the first time that we've had those kids up in that situation, and I look forward to seeing them up in that next one. So some of this with these young teams up against these veteran-laden teams, they have to be there a few times and not only succeed, but you got to fail a few times in those situations before you can kind of go over that hump.
Bubba Mack at the plate after Powers is retired. Resmondo last scored 3 in the 5th inning, and there's about to be 2 quick outs here in the 7th. And look at this, Bob Ford, 3 runs. They've only produced more than 3 runs in 1 inning so far, but you find yourself in that situation, and you're right in the ball game in the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, this is a case where, like I say, if Bob Ford's not able to win this game, they're going to look back with a lot of what-ifs and how's he what's-its and so forth in this case. This is a game that Resmondo really has kind of been here for them. As KB had said earlier, definitely you can tell this is Resmondo's first weekend. They're not clicking on every cylinder yet, and this is a case where they were here to be had in this game a little bit, and they still are. But if they're not able to come back, they're gonna definitely think on this game for a while.
Junior with the 2-out base hit, and that's the veteran right there starting to get a 2-out rally started. And he tries to get the extra base, and he's safe.
I think we're going to have some unhappy Baugh folks here.
Took him a while to decide.
Yeah, he was looking to see if he had held onto the ball for a second. I think we're going to get a replay on it, Bernie.
So take another look.
Hasn't tagged him.
I'm not sure that he applied the tag.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I have no problem fighting with umpires, but I don't know if that's one you can really go out there on. I don't. Even with a replay, Bernie, I don't know if I'm willing to tell you if it was the right call or the wrong call. So I think in that case, you got to tip your hat to the ump who was 3 feet away and say he got it right.
Yeah. And credit DiDonatis with the hustle.
And that's something you'll never see him not do.
And a right, the side is retired nevertheless. So Baugh Dorflinger has an opportunity. It's a 14-11 ball game as we head to the bottom of the 7th. Baugh needs 3 to tie and 4 to win. Little hustle by DiDonatis with a 2-out double.
What's hot out of the wrapper mean? Let's find out.
Can't go no further.
Any questions?
All right, here we are for the bottom of the 7th, 14-11 ball game. Let's check in once again with KB.
Hey, Bernie, Baugh Dorflinger knows what kind of opportunity they have right in this moment. They know Resmondo's not playing their top ball, and if Baugh Dorflinger wants to come out and really show the Nationwide Conference what this team is made of, they have to take advantage. They said they were in this position yesterday when they faced Resmondo, and they didn't capitalize. Well, it's time for round 2, and these boys are pumped up.
It's all about getting that extra opportunity. We just talked about one of these teams is going to get a chance of redemption. Baugh Ford trying to get a little redemption over Resmondo, who defeated them yesterday. Resmondo hopes that they'll have a chance to go against Laser Vision.
Yeah, and this is clearly a case of a team trying to learn to win a game like this. That's what we're dealing with here. And for a couple of these, the sponsor player and Tommy Baugh and the sponsor Rick Dorflinger, this would probably be their one of their biggest wins. And there's 1 point closer, Bernie, as we would put her.
1 down, at least 2 to go.
Yep.
They'd love to get 3 and just end it right here.
Yeah. This will be interesting. Sean McDonald swung for a home run, I think, in the last time, and I'll ask him later if I was right or wrong about that, and apologize if I wasn't. But
a little bloop pop up there, and Powers has it for out number 1.
Yeah, that's 2 interesting at-bats for him. He's a left center, right center gap hitter, and I think he may have given an at-bat away there. He'd love to have that at-bat back right now. But that's why they give you 3 outs, Bernie.
Yeah. Well, as they get closer, the pressure really goes to both sides.
Yeah. And this is a case of the young players, the Kyle Pearson who run super well, and fly balls right now put no pressure on anybody. He's not really, not that he can't hit home runs, but what he is a gap to gap, hole shooting, great little hitter. Put it on the ground right now, make them make a play all the way across the board. There you go.
Out to right. Pearson is aboard.
I think this is Dan Bean pinch hitting, I believe it looks like.
Yeah.
Is that what we got here? 18 Dan Bean.
Yep. Big opportunity. He is the tying run at the plate.
This is his first weekend with them. They had a longtime veteran pitching, Billy Barrett, who's, I believe, at home having a baby, and they picked Dan up, who's been with a lot of great teams, and a good pitcher, a backup pitcher for them with Tommy going all the time.
Opposite way, how about the grab by Jimmy Salas? Maybe a game-saving play there at third.
But there's nothing wrong with that swing. We talked about pressure on him, and that's a great swing. Jimmy Salas made a great play, but it took that not the outcome, but definitely the right direction. Mr. Flood, who has already hit 1 home run today. Wrong part of the yard.
To probably the best glove that Resmondo has, arguably. Santana tracks it down, and Resmondo moves on. They'll take on Laser Vision next. 14-12 the final score. And hopefully you'll join us in what I would assume about 15 minutes. Resmondo Laser Vision in the championship game of the first of 2 nationwide Conference USSSA Hall of Fame Classics. For Don Cooper, Christopher Bedard, Bernie Gunther, so long from Orlando. We'll hope you'll join us in about 15 minutes right back here in the Sunshine State for a little more nationwide Conference USSSA slow pitch softball.